What's going on, everybody? David here from Bluckers Videos and Toys, and today we are going to be taking a look at the brand new Jurassic World Dino Trackers Wave 1 Strike Attack Edaphosaurus, Herrerasaurus, Genudectes, and Zuniceratops. Now we're actually going to divide these into two videos. So the first one's up, we're going to be looking at the Edaphosaurus and the Herrerasaurus. And then in the second video, we'll be taking a look at the Genudectes and the Zuniceratops. And yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So before we get started for this review, I want to give a huge shout out to my friend Kevin McDonald for sending me these two right here in front of y'all. He had hit me up a while back and asked me if I had these yet, and I said no, and asked me if I wanted them. And I said, yes, I do. So he was able to work out a deal with me, and he sent these over. And I been sitting on these for a while because I wanted to wait till I found the other two. Eventually I did, so here we are. Better late than never, I guess. So first up is the Edaphosaurus, which means pavement lizard. And this lived in the Permian era, and pretty much the depiction of what the packaging suggests, that it says ocean right here, which it never did. Why Mattel put that in there, I don't know. So, but I mean, this thing was first discovered in the Texas redbeds over there near Oklahoma, and other parts of Oklahoma, New Mexico, Ohio, and West Virginia. So, nowhere near the ocean. So it makes no sense to me. But hey, it is what it is. But anyways, so the Edaphosaurus is pretty much a herbivore, and it's a smaller. It looks like a Dimetrodon, but it's not. It's a small, way smaller. Dimetrodon is fairly large, and as far as this figure goes, the actual representation looks nothing like the real thing. And I know that Mattel's keen and known to make their own creations, but this is far-fetched what the real creature looks like. The only thing they probably got right is the cell, but body type wise, it does not look nothing like that. It's a very hefty creature, and the head is like too large for it to be an Edaphosaurus, and plus it looks like a Dimetrodon. So the head needs to be about half that size, maybe a little smaller from what we got here. And it didn't have any teeth that showed like that either. So yeah, it's far-fetched. But anyways, it is what it is. I'm very happy to have it in the collection. You know, it's a brand new species, probably in name only, but not at the actual representation. But it is what it is. So let's go ahead and get started. So here is the packaging. So this will be your standard Jurassic World Dino Trackers Strike Attack packaging. So all of it's going to be looking like this. And the only thing that's different, is going to be different, is going to be the card back, which has each different species has a different symbol. Kind of like in my, was it Ferocious Pack, Fierce Force Pack, whatever they're called, the smaller assortments. Like that, but you know, similar style, but this is a little bit bigger. And that packaging, as far as that goes, is like a card stock basically. This is actually has a little box to it. But anyways, so we got here, you got blue and beta, and then you have the action feature right there, or demonstration of it. And then you got Jurassic World, Strike Attack, and the name of the dinosaur or creature, mammal-like reptile, should I say. Dino Trackers, ages 4 and up, that's me. And then you got the Mattel logo right there. And you have the ocean symbol with the ocean background right there, even though the Edaphosaurus did not live in the ocean. And then here on the back is your back card stock right there, and you got your rendering of the Edaphosaurus in its action feature. You got Jurassic World right there, facts app information right there. You got the ocean logo right there, Dino Trackers, and then you have the picture of all the dinosaurs that are in this line. So you got the Genudecti series, then you got the Zuniceratops and the Herrerasaurus. And then down here, or in the bottom of it, you have the not the facts app, but the copyright information with the Universal logo, Amblin Entertainment logo right there. And there you go. Alright, so here we have our somewhat Edaphosaurs. Let's go ahead and adjust the camera accordingly. And then we can make this bigger so we can get a closer look. So while I do like the sculpt of it, it's more of a Dimetrodon than anything. So like I said, the only thing they pretty much got right is the sail, but the body itself, it's not what an Edaphosaurus would look like. It's like a lot more fatter. So you would think this is more kind of more rounded, like an oval shape. They made this thing like muscular, and the head sculpt, like I said before, is too big. That's like pretty much a retooled Dimetrodon head, and the actual Edaphosaurus head should be like half this size, or maybe a third of this size, you know. And but overall, the sculpt itself is just as good as any other, you know. But if this was a Dimetrodon, this would be an amazing sculpt. But this cell would not be like this. It'd be kind of more of a kind of like that, you know, not this oval shape right here. But I digress. But as far as the head sculpt goes, it looks really good for what it is. You know, as far as the eyes goes, so the orange eyes right there, but I don't have any pupils on mine. So, but that is Mattel for you. Hit and misses with the eyes. So, as far as the paint scheme goes and overall details of the body, it was molded out of this gray plastic, and it was spray painted with a black paint. So here at the bottom of the jaw and neck, you can tell that the bottom jaw is a separate piece from the rest of it. And then here, this was spray painted on and kind of faded in down to the main body right here. And so then back here, you get this part, it's all nothing but gray. And then here the front legs, you could tell the front legs are different. They were a separate piece of plastic, and as well as the hind legs. So you could tell where the paint is and where it stops and what is separate pieces and stuff. So, but overall, the body itself is really good, you know. It's just not an Edaphosaurus body, you know. But you could tell you got the dents right here as far as the sides goes, and then you see a little bit of the rib cage here. Very muscular legs right there. It's a little bit fatty right here, and then you got the calf muscles right there, detailed right there. And I don't think that the Edaphosaurus had claws like this. And then as far as the front legs go, a little bit smaller than the hind legs, and then the tail goes all the way down to here. It's a little short, but then it has a little bit of a detail here in the back of the cell. So they just add a little bit more texture to it. Wish they could have painted that a little bit more. But and then as far as the other side goes, pretty much the same thing. You can tell a little bit of dents right there on the side of the stomach and the rib cage area. So overall, it's very good. And then the head sculpt right there. And then you got the osteoderms here on the back here. So very nice. And as far as articulation goes, the hind legs, they just on a single hinge, goes forwards, backwards. And then the front legs, they're on a ball and hinge. So there's the hinge right there. So they can go in and out and forwards and backwards. And then here, the hind legs go forwards and backwards. And then here, you can tell that it is on a hinge, but mine doesn't go all the way like it's supposed to. It goes forwards and backwards, but because of the hinge they have right there, it's just not. I guess you can go forwards and backwards. Yeah, there we go. But you got to have the leg up. So there you go, somewhat. So very odd way of having it. But and then here, as far as the jaw goes, the jaw's got a hinge right there, so it goes all the way open like that. So like I said, that's more of like a Dimetrodon than more than anything. So and then as far as the facts that, here you go. There you go for all the people that collect this kind of stuff. Then here we have the action feature right there. So it looks like it's got the action feature where you can do a puppeteering. So if you wanted to eat something, you can have the jaw open and then put something in its mouth, and then you'll just have to hold it like this and then move its tail side to side. So it's kind of like that puppeteering thing. So alright, so there we go. So let's go ahead and do a little bit of size comparisons. And let's go ahead and bring out a Dimetrodon. So as you can tell, the Dimetrodon is about the same size as this particular one. In reality, let's see if we can't scoot this back a little bit so we can get a better idea. In reality, the Dimetrodon should be probably like this big, you know. I mean, here's a fairly large creature. And the Edaphosaurus was fairly small. But hey, so the Dimetrodon did eat the Edaphosaurus as part of its diet, I guess. You know, so very cool. Well, they all lived in the Permian era. And then another creature that lived alongside it is this particular species, and this is the Estomanosuchus, hopefully I pronounced that right. It's a fairly long name, so I'm pretty sure somebody will correct me. So, but yes, that is the Estomanosuchus right there. And then as far as a human comparison goes, it's, yeah, that would be accurate if that was a Dimetrodon, so that is pretty much the right size. But the Edaphosaurus, you know, Owen should probably be about this big, you know, that tall, if you want to get it more accurate. But there we go. And that was the Edaphosaurus. Now let's go ahead and move on to the Herrerasaurus. Alright, so next up we will be taking a look at the Herrerasaurus. And so here is the packaging for the Herrerasaurus, and this is from, supposedly lived in the desert. And so this is pretty much the same style packaging as everything else. So the only difference is cardstock is that it's got that desert feel to it, along with the desert logo. So there you go. That's the packaging for that. And so here is the Herrerasaurus itself. I really do like this sculpt right there because it's more a representation of what the Herrerasaurus should look like, or does look like, you know. And we'll do a comparison to one of the sculpts that was previously released in other lines that we've gotten in the past. But I really do like the paint scheme for this. As you could tell that this is pretty much the main body was dipped in this orange package paint or plastic, and this is a separate piece for the tail and for the legs, and you can tell that the bottom piece is a separate piece as well. So the main head here, the neck, and the main body was dipped in this orange plastic, and this was painted on right here. So, and then as far as paint goes right here, you know, they painted the head right there. So this is pretty much a very, very nice representation of what the Herrerasaurus actually looked like. So kudos to Mattel for correcting that, you know. And so as far as details goes, you know, you could tell that the hind legs, you know, are very muscular right there, but not so much in the back. You know, there's the calf muscle right there. It's got the very bird-like feet right there. And as far as the arms go, it's like super muscular. You know, got the bicep and triceps right there, and the forearms got a little dent there too as well. And same thing on the other side. You got the osteoderms on the hind legs right there and right there. And then as far as the head sculpt goes, you know, looks very good right there. Get all the osteoderms here and below in the back of its jaw and along the face. And then especially on top of the head right there. And then the eyes right there. So this is a good eye paint and placement. And then you could tell here at the bottom where the skin is below the eyes and stuff and around. And then you can open this jaw right there. So very good right there as far as jaw goes. Excuse me. And then the teeth placement are good right there. And so then here is the Facts app information for those who need it. So other than that, there's not much really going on as far as this paint scheme goes. So I do like the desert vibe to it that they gave it. You know, even though it's not a lot, but the fact that the paint scheme and the details kind of blend in very well together, in my opinion. And so as far as the articulation goes, you know, the tail does go 360, you know, and then you get the hind legs here that goes forwards and backwards, and then the arms are on a ball and hinge, so go in and out, forwards and backwards, in and out, forwards and backwards, and then the hind leg here goes back and forwards, and then it does have that inner thigh articulation right there. So then there's a little button right there, and then in order to make that feature work, to make it make sense, you just have to open the jaw up, and then you just press it like it's about to bite something. So yeah, there you go. That is the Herrerasaurus. Alright, so let's go ahead and get this fella standing the way he needs to be standing. And let's do some comparisons. So, here is one of the OGs from the very first line from the Fallen Kingdom line, the Battle Damage Herrerasaurus. So, as you could tell, I just knocked some dinosaurs over. As you could tell, the sculpt is vastly different. So this was pretty much the main sculpt that we got for a few years until now. This is the brand new sculpt. Hopefully they continue this if they decide to give us more Herrerasaurus, because that's more of an accurate representation. This one was cool. This is probably one of the better ones that they put out. And those attack packs were okay, but I prefer the battle damage ones that they gave us. So this is a lot better and a nicer mold, should I say, as far as this sculpt goes. But it's not bad. It's not terrible, you know, but it's okay. But this is far superior in my opinion. So So let me know in the comments below what you think of this particular sculpt. Do you like this one better, or do you like that one? You know. And so as far as dinosaurs or creatures that lived alongside the Herrerasaurus in the Triassic period, you have the small Mosaurus. So, of course, in reality, that's a lot smaller than what it's supposed to be. Kind of like maybe a third of the size of what the Herrerasaurus is, because they were pretty small. And then, next one is a fairly odd creature. I don't remember the pronunciation for this particular creature, but I do know that that's what it lived alongside the Herrerasaurus, you know. So, like I said, I don't remember exactly what the creature's name is. But anyways, so here is our human figure right next to it. And that's pretty much in scale with it. It's pretty much accurate. It might have been a little bit bigger, but as far as humans goes, how big it is, that's pretty much right. Alright, so that's pretty much the review for this particular species. So let me know what you think of the Herrerasaurus in the comments below. So there is the Edaphosaurus alongside its counterpart Herrerasaurus. So let me know in the comments below what you think of these two. And that pretty much wraps up the video. And don't forget, words of wisdom: buy what you love and not what you like, because if you buy what you like, you'll always end up getting rid of it. And I will catch y'all later.